Meanwhile, the Blue Demons are coming off a disappointing season, finishing 10-23 overall and 3-17 in the Big East. The question now is, what will it take to turn around the men's basketball program? In a year plagued by injuries and losses, the DePaul men's basketball team continued a pattern from years past. Over the last 10 years, the Blue Demons have a record of 129 and 213, meaning they've won only 38% of their games. Over that decade, DePaul has made two coaching changes. Oliver Purnell exited the program in 2015, while Dave Lato was replaced in 2021. Now, Tony Stubblefield is the coach. His first year saw improvement as the team finished one game under 500 overall, but just 6-14 in the Big East. This past year, the team regressed, going 10-23 overall and 3-17 in the Big East. Stubblefield knows that winning is critical.
The more the story is you got to win basketball games, and that's my job. I understand that, and for me as coach, I got to put these guys in the best position to be successful.
Stubblefield understands the pressures of the job.
Well, there's nobody going to put more pressure on me than what I'm going to put on myself. And I know the job that I came here to get done, and that's still the plan for me, is to get DePaul back into postseason play.
He knows the goal, but the challenges are enormous. The question is, what will it take to make DePaul a winning program? ESPN 1000's David Kaplan has a suggestion.
And so when Tony goes in and he's recruiting against Rick Pitino at St. John's and Danny Hurley, who I know very well at Connecticut, and in the past, Jay Wright at Villanova, you're talking about the best of the very best. So you better have, an NIL fund, a collective that's going to put money in kids' pockets. And I just don't know how you contend with some of the schools and the money that they have.
NIL is a program that allows college athletes to be compensated, and many feel it's a vital element to turning a program around. According to On3.com, the largest NIL earner for DePaul last season was Ahmad Bynum at $66,000, and he barely played last year and has since transferred out of the program. There were 84 players in college basketball who made over $100,000 last year. For a school that currently lacks as much NIL money as some colleges, Stubblefield tries to make up for it through his recruiting process.
But it's just the recruiting, the relationships that are built along the way with the families, with the young men, and just getting to get out and know these people. So I really enjoy that. I'm a people person, so it's really exciting to get to know these young men and their families.
As promising as that sounds, Stubblefield has yet to bring in a program-changing player, the kind of player many fans hoped he'd attract when arriving here from Oregon. However, some feel another factor in DePaul's problems is the competition and the level at which they're playing. ESPN's Adam Rittenberg believes there was an unnecessary change at DePaul about 18 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, my big theory on DePaul is they never should have joined the Big East. I understand why they did from a financial standpoint, from a profile standpoint, but I just don't think DePaul fits in that conference because it's not set up to really fit in that conference. I think DePaul is an A-10 school. DePaul is a Missouri Valley type school. I think DePaul was a great Conference USA program.
For a conference that's won the national championship 3 times in 7 years, the Big East is regarded as one of the best in college basketball. During that time, DePaul is 27-100 in regular season Big East play, just a 21% win rate.
Well, I think the Big East is the best league in college basketball. From a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, I don't think there's any league out there as good as the Big East, and it's only gotten more challenging when you add a Hall of Fame coach like Rick Pitino. So it's just getting better, as you can see, on a daily basis of young men that are picking schools in the Big East. And this is going to be all-out war every time you step out there on the floor in this league.
And there are still other opinions on what DePaul needs to do to turn around the program.
You're listening to today's edition of Sports.
Jack Thiel, both a student and Radio DePaul broadcaster for the Blue Demons, wants to see more youth.
With Zion Cruz and just other recruits coming in, you really just gotta, like I said, it's more about letting them play. Like I said, if you're going to not be good. At least not be good by letting your young guys get better. You know, like I get it, you can learn things from sitting on the bench. Although I believe that's true, in college, you got to let these kids play because it's frustrating. Because look at Zion Cruz, top 100 player. He's playing 35 minutes, 30 minutes in high school, probably every minute he can. And now here he is sitting on the bench. You know, that is demoralizing, I feel like, for a college player. And then you lose your confidence and you lose your touch and you really wonder, what am I doing?
Despite the problems, Coach Stubblefield is optimistic.
Again, I like the pieces that we have in play up to this point. I like the guys returning. Obviously, we still have more work to do, but I really do like our team going into next year. And I think we got a real chance to be able to get some things done. And again, we're going to play a very challenging non-conference schedule. It's going to be a tough Big East schedule, but I like the pieces that we got in place to go out and get the job done.
Most DePaul fans are not that optimistic, but they still hope. Hope that DePaul basketball can finally return to prominence. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Caleb Nixon.